Okay, so as you can see, I've already kind of made a couple of things here in between cuts. Now, what I have is I just have an add button and a subtraction button. I'm just going to work with my add button in these videos. But here we go. I've also got a little label that just says 30 because I'm going to have 30 seconds. It'll count down. And I have a start the quiz button. Now, the first thing about this is, well, let's just double click on this start the quiz button. The first thing is we've got ourselves our button that opens, and I have it as a start button. I could simply do this to disable the button. btn btn start dot enabled equals false. So if I were to simply do that, now when I click that button, it should make it unclickable. And you see, the button's not, I can't click it anymore. It's disabled. I can't do anything. So the enabled feature could equal true or false. Therefore, it's a Boolean. It's either on or off, yes or no, true or false. Those are the only two things. Now, I'm just going to remember that for later. I'm not actually going to use it there. Instead, where I'm going to use it is going to be something that I am going to make up out of thin air. And what I'm going to do with this, making it out of thin air, I'm going to call it, I don't know, start quiz. Now it's going to give me an error there going, wait, what is this? Start quiz? What is start quiz? I don't understand. There's an error. You see how I did that thing with the parentheses there? That's telling me that somewhere in this code there should be a new sub called start quiz. But it doesn't exist yet. So, private sub start quiz and sub. Now my error is gone. Yes, that's right. You can make new subs that don't involve clicking on a button, that aren't tied to an object. This is just something that's happened. So now if I were to just copy this guy over here, copy, paste, and now when I click this button, I'll go immediately to start quiz. And what start quiz do? Start quiz disables my button. So in theory, I should be able to do exactly this. Again, it should deactivate my button when I click it. Now, obviously, I want this button to reactivate after my timer is up, right? So I'll have to do some fancy stuff with a timer then. But just letting you know, we are going to be making more types of subs that aren't tied to any individual button in this code in order to make this work. So remember how code works. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4. It goes in order until you specifically tell it to go elsewhere. So this code went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, 6 told me to jump to 11. So 11, 12, 13. Okay, now back to 7, 8, 9, 10. So it went and did that. And so basically, that's what you did. And now remember, of course, it's not going to go and do whatever's inside that until it's specifically clicked. So really this code's going 1, 2, 3, skip all this, 10, skip all that, 14, 15. But when I click on it, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, 6 is telling me to jump over to 11, 12, 13. Okay, 13's done. 7, 8, 9, 10, 14, 15. So it's doing it in order until you specifically tell it otherwise. You will need to know this concept. You will also need to know the difference between a private and a public sub. Now, it makes a bit of sense the way it is. So a private sub, anything that's inside of it is private to that thing. So if any variables that I declare only activate inside this sub. A public sub is different. A public sub will share between the code. Private, self-contained. Public, it's out in public. You will need to know the difference between both of those.